This is Chelsea.
Hi.
And we are just going to talk a little bit about her story, and I honestly don't even know too much about it, so I figured that I would film it so you guys can kind of get a first-hand look at, you know, everything that she has to say about her traveling lifestyle. So, I guess first of all, where are you from?
I am from the Carolinas. I had been living there for quite a while. I hadn't always lived in the Carolinas, but I was there for the last 8 years.
Oh,
and
wow.
Yeah, and so, you know, you kind of get tired of a place once you've been there for long enough, especially if you're in a small town. So,
Gotta move around.
gotta move around.
Are you traveling like to a specific place? Are you traveling, or are you just kind of doing like a giant road trip? Or what's like your traveling plan?
Yeah. So the plan is not to have a plan.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah. So before I left, I had some pretty bad issues with like anxiety and just being like a really high strung and like stressed out person all the time. And I had done everything that I thought that I was supposed to do, like go to school, you know, graduate college, start a job and all that stuff. And I decided that it wasn't for me at the moment, so I decided to challenge myself, go on this road trip with no plan whatsoever and just wing it. So the goal is to go to as many national parks as possible. But
nice.
As far as planning a route and everything, it's kind of just day by day. Yeah. So right now I've been on the road for only 5 weeks, like just over a month.
That's still pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that I've made it this far, to be honest. But yeah, 5 weeks, and I have no plan to say how long it's going to go. Basically, as long as I can afford it.
Okay.
Or until I get tired of traveling and just
Gotcha.
want to settle down again, which I don't see happening for a while. So
How are you funding your trip? Are you working while you're doing this, or
Yeah.
did you like save up?
yeah, so it's kind of a combination of both.
Okay.
Like I said, after I graduated college, I started a career in a field that I thought I was supposed to go into. And so I saved up for an entire year while I was working there. And then also beforehand, I had gotten in a car accident in college, but I got a little bit of compensation money from that. It wasn't a lot, but that's basically what's funding the gas.
Okay.
And then also, I'm a virtual assistant for a guy that owns a company, so that's basically how I'm
awesome.
funding this. Yeah, freelancing and savings. Yeah.
Cool. So you have like this camper. Do you mainly do you stay on BLM land, or do you go to campsites? And if you do like go to campsites, how much do you spend if you feel comfortable sharing?
There are wildlife management areas and Bureau of Land Management areas, and so those are pretty free, but there's a catch to all of that. Of course, like, you know, safety is going to be a bigger concern in those kind of areas because they're not generally gated in. Like the campsite that I'm at right now has a gate, a huge gate that shuts at 10 p.m. and like there's a code to get in and out, but they only give it to the campers. And then for national parks and national forests, I have an annual pass, so it's $80, but it adds up if you're living on the road. So
Pays for itself.
Yeah, it pays for itself. I completely avoid KOAs, which are independently owned campsites for RVs and stuff. They can be upwards like $75 and up for a night.
Wow,
and
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it's gnarly. The parks that I do pay for are state parks, which there are a lot of really cool state parks in the world, or in the United States. So, so those, I try to keep it around anywhere from $15 to $20 a night for hookups, which means I get electricity and water. And you can camp at state parks but not have hookups, and it's generally about like $10. And some are even $5 or $8. So it really depends on what your needs are.
Have you experienced like super cold temperatures or really hot temperatures yet?
Well, it hasn't been too bad because I left out of the Carolinas and immediately went south to Florida, so it's not like in the winter.
Yeah.
Even. So it's not like crazy, but you know, I have a small space heater for when it gets under 40, and if it gets like too warm, either I plug up the generator and turn on the air conditioner or just open the windows.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Sounds pretty manageable.
And just like wear shorts.
What about like safety? Because I know that's one of the questions that, I mean, I'm sure you get asked a lot, because I get asked that a lot. Like,
Yeah.
do you feel safe? Has, you know, I don't.
Yeah. Okay, so most of the time I do feel pretty safe because, like I said, I stay in national parks or state parks that have gates. I have seen in a couple areas that don't have those things, and I feel pretty safe because I travel with a Doberman Pinscher. I travel with a dog. Yeah,
And she does look scary. She's the nicest, but she looks scary.
She's nice, but she is trained in protection dog training, so she is on command. Does know how to, you know, take a person down or whatever. So I feel pretty safe. I also have a huge can of bear mace.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that I just keep with me.
Yeah.
So mace and a Doberman Pinscher, and I feel pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah.
A lot of people think that, like this traveling lifestyle, you know, being a free spirit, kind of having no plan and just going with the flow, it's really cool and all, but, you know,
what are you going to do when you're older?
Yeah, exactly. So, do you have, like, plans for the future? Because I know you said you're not sure how long this is really going to last, and I guess if you do, what are they?
Well, in the future, you know, I do have 2 college degrees to fall back on. So, I got my degree in economics, and I got a degree in mass communication, so broadcast news. You know, when the time comes, I'll go back to that. I'll go back to work. But the thing is like, I'm in my youth now. I want to experience this life now. I'm not married. I don't have kids. I don't have a mortgage.
Do it while you can.
Do it while you can. And the thing is that, and this is another point, when you're on the road, you are going to meet so many people and have so many opportunities. So when you network and when you experience new things, you could find a whole new path that you're interested in that you never knew you were interested in before. So like after I end this trip, I might have learned something that to me says, well, yeah, I got my college degrees, but I'm not interested in that anymore. So I'm going to do this because I learned this and I like this. Or I met this person and they offered me this opportunity. So I'm not worried. Yeah. I'm really not worried.
And then, so when you first started this, or even like, you know, contemplated the idea of like living in a camper and traveling around America, like what were your expectations, especially like, did you think that you would run into like a lot of like-minded people or people your age? Or how was that?
Honestly,
for you?
No. I thought that the only people that lived on the road were people in their 60s and, you know, like $250,000 RVs and stuff like that. I thought I was going to be like a Lone Ranger, like, to be honest. It's kind of shocking, but it's a good surprise to know that there are other people that are our age that are doing this.
Especially girls, too.
Especially
and
girls.
that are doing it sometimes by themselves and sometimes not. But I think either way, it's equally as impressive.
I completely agree because, you know, this is completely outside of, like, the norm for, like, different, like, gender roles or whatever. Like, my nails are never painted. I know,
Girl.
They can't be. They can't be. I used to paint my nails. They can't be anymore.
Yeah, like there's just no point.
No, there's no point. But you also don't have to give up your individuality as a woman to do this. Like, I can still say, like, proudly, like, I'm a chick, I do this, and that's awesome. And I'm meeting other chicks that do this, and that's awesome. And I want to encourage everybody else that is sick of the 9-to-5 and sick of their hometown and, you know, maybe struggling with anxiety or whatever, to push themselves and to really live the life that they want. Yes, it takes a lot of work. Like, no, like, you know, our parents aren't funding this, and there's sacrifices for everything, but the point is that it's a lot more affordable to travel than people make it out to be. You don't have to be some rich kid. Like, it's a lot more affordable. Like, save, you know, work hard for a year, take your savings, get a job on the road, and go. Because you can afford it. Yeah. My biggest piece of advice to anyone that wants to travel one day is to work hard and just do it. Because it's horrifying in the beginning to give up everything that you're comfortable with and to leave your family and your friends and a steady income. It's scary, but so far, and it's only been 5 weeks, and I already feel like this is the experience of a lifetime. Like, I've learned so much in 5 weeks about the road and about myself that I'm just so stoked to continue, and I want everybody else to feel as, like,
right, you just want to share it.
Yeah, I just want everyone
to be so happy.
Exactly. I want everyone to feel like it's like satisfied and fulfilled with their life as I feel in only 5 weeks. Like, that's the goal. So that's all I would really want to put out there for anyone.
I like
Yeah.
that.